Welcome back to the Bluechip Breakdown, Vols fans. I'm your host, Bull, and in today's video, we'll be touching on the junior day. We'll take a look at 5 players and what they had to say about their junior day experience with the University of Tennessee, starting it off with Cam Sparks. So Cam Sparks is a 6'3", 210-pound athlete out of the state of Tennessee. He's ranked number 42 nationally. He's the number 1 rated athlete in the entire country, and he's the number 2 ranked player in the state of Tennessee. Some of the things that he said coming out of the visit was it was his first time meeting Coach Halsley in person, and Coach Halsley talked a lot about how Tennessee will be using him on offense. Now, again, he's rated as an athlete. He can play offense, defense, special teams, but I see him as being kind of like that Brew McCoy type of wide receiver. He could also be a gadget player. He can really do it all, but he would be a huge pickup for our Volunteers, and it does sound like he's trending towards Tennessee. Something else that he talked about was getting first-class treatment. He said, hey, it feels good to know that the clock is ticking on my class, but he said that it's really nothing new because he's been getting that same treatment since he was about a freshman in high school. So great job by this staff by going out and identifying players of need, okay, players with high-level talent, these blue chip guys, especially in state. I love what this staff is doing so far, and I think that Tennessee is going to finish strong with Cam Sparks. He also talked about George McIntyre, saying, hey, it will be a whole lot of fun for us to play together. GMAC is recruiting his butt off. All of these blue chip guys that we're going to be talking about, GMAC is in contact with him, and he's doing everything that he can for the University of Tennessee. Now, moving on to the next player, who is Ethan Utley, 6'4", 270 pounds, ranked 113th nationally. He's the number 11th ranked defensive lineman, and he's the number 4 ranked player in the state of Tennessee. He's from Innsworth out there in Nashville, and he talks about loving Coach Gardner. He loves how real Coach Gardner is and the way that Coach Gardner wants for him to succeed, whether he comes to Tennessee or not. Now, we've talked about this before on the channel that Coach Gardner knows his mother very well, so that's always a very big part of recruiting. If you can get in good with the player's mother, you're probably going to be able to win out on that recruitment. Now, also, he is from the state of Tennessee, in the same class, clearly, as GMAC and as Cam Sparks. I think that Tennessee is going to clean house in the state of Tennessee and be able to hand select all the players that we want out of the state. And with Ethan playing defensive tackle, right? He's a defensive tackle body. We know that that's a huge position of need for us moving forward. He's a very good athlete. He's a very strong player. I think that he could come in and contribute as a true freshman in 2025. And he also talks about being closer to a decision, and that, hey, Tennessee has been recruiting me for a while, the same way that we've been recruiting Cam Sparks. So again, hats off to this staff. Now, on to the next player, who is an offensive tackle, and this is Jaylen Matthews, 6'6", 290 pounds. He's ranked number 98th overall, the number 11th ranked offensive tackle, and he's the number 3 player in the state of New Jersey. Now, this is the same player that we saw as soon as GMAC committed. He said, hey, do y'all need any offensive linemen? So clearly, GMAC has been in contact with him. He's been on him very hard. We're able to get him on campus all the way from New Jersey. I think that that speaks volumes about how serious he is about Tennessee. And you can see that he's crystal balled to Georgia. But again, I think Tennessee's in a really good spot with this one. So he also talks about wanting to play big man football. Okay, so that's SEC football. We all know that. And he talks about wanting to play with an offensive line that's a brotherhood, guys who are going to hold each other accountable for their actions. And we already know that Tennessee probably is number 1 in the entire world as far as a college program in doing that. I think we've got the best family atmosphere out of any program that you could ever think of. And I think that, again, Tennessee's in a really good spot with Jaylen Matthews. He's probably going to end up being ranked a 5-star. And I'm very, very happy to hear that Tennessee is in such a great position with these front 7 players, because that's where it starts. That's where it ends. And we all know that, man, look, GMAC wants to have some guys who can protect his blind side and his front side. He wants a good offensive line so that he can go to work with the playmakers that we're going to be getting in over the next few seasons. All right, let's move on to another offensive tackle, and Andrew Babalola, 6'6", 275 pounds, ranked number 26 nationally, and he's the number 4 ranked offensive tackle, number 1 in the state of Kansas. This was his first time seeing the University of Tennessee in person. And he says, hey, everybody talks about being a family, but the University of Tennessee is really about that life. He says, hey, Tennessee really is a family, and that's something that he enjoyed. And I'm telling y'all, man, as a high school recruit, having a family-like environment is so important, especially for these guys that are coming far from home. You want to feel like you are at home whenever you are on campus, and it sounds like he most definitely does. He also talks about Coach E and how he loves the way that he develops players. He watched a whole lot of film on Darnell Wright from the time that he got on campus up at Tennessee to what his finished product was going into the NFL draft, being a top 10 pick, being a first rounder, and he likes the way that everything is trending with Coach E. So I think that we're in a really good position with Andrew Babalola as well. Now, let's move on to Bryce Jenkins, 6'5", 315-pound defensive lineman, ranked 212th nationally. He's the number 21st ranked defensive lineman, and he's the number 3 player coming out of DC. Now, his father did play basketball at the University of Tennessee, and it sounds like his dad is on him saying, hey, you got to continue this legacy, son. You got to carry it on. I think that Tennessee's in a really good spot with Bryce. Now, 6'5", 315 pounds, another defensive tackle type of a body. I love it, man. Like, I absolutely love it. We all know that it starts inside out, up front, offense, defense, special teams. This is what wins you national championships. You need these types of players. Again, man, our entire coaching staff gets it. And I do think that they have overachieved significantly over the past few seasons since they've been up on Rocky Top. This is something that P and I touched on briefly in our mini podcast over this weekend. I love the simple fact that we are developing talent at a very high clip, okay? A lot higher than maybe what I thought coming into it initially. Now, where we do have to improve at is on the front on that offensive line. Our guys have got to get better, but I do think that in 2025, we'll see guys take that next step forward because honestly speaking, man, 2024, this roster, this is a national championship roster. I think that we can win the entire thing if we can at least make it into the playoffs with everything else that's going on with the NCAA investigations, seeing the way that everyone inside of the program, everyone in the state of Tennessee, you know, all of the big wigs, they're stepping up and going to bat for us. I think that that's a great look for us moving forward. But again, man, if we can finish strong in 2024, and that means 2025, we'll have a really good class. We talked about it being top 5, potentially top 3. And if all that happens, if we get in all of this really good talent, take a look at what we had before and multiply that by, I would say, 3 to 4. Okay. I think that we have a chance to be consistently in that playoff race, in that national championship race. And the more that our name is mentioned by the national media, okay, because that does kind of make a difference with some of these players who might kind of be on the outside and, hey, you know, Tennessee offered me, but I haven't heard a whole lot of great things about them, so I don't think I'm going to visit them. But once the national media gets involved and says, hey, this roster is one of the top in the entire country, this coaching staff, you know, once those accolades start to come out, I promise you, Tennessee will do a lot more with the talent than what we've seen with, you know, guys like Kirby Smart at the University of Georgia. He's had a bunch of talent since he got hired. He only has 2 national championships to show for that. Imagine flipping this staff with Georgia's staff, okay, and having that talent. Dude, Tennessee would have 5 to 6 national championships right now, even with Coach Saban, because we know Coach Heupel had Coach Saban's number. A lot of people ain't talking about this, but I think that that's another big factor in the reason that Coach Saban decided to step down, because he had to play up against Tennessee, okay, every third Saturday in October. That's coming. He didn't want to see that. He saw Tennessee, man, look, they're out there getting a whole bunch of blue chip players. They've been, you know, either beating us or on the brink of beating us with, you know, kind of subpar players. And I don't mean to take a shot at our guys, but I'm just keeping it real. They weren't ranked very highly, but we've maximized it. So saying all that just to say, Kirby Smart, okay, a guy who is not a great X's and O's coach, right? He knows how to go out and get players. It's pretty easy whenever you've got a million blue chip players in your backyard. Okay, that's not very hard to do. You just, hey, play disciplined football. Anybody can do that, right? But as far as being able to out-scheme coaches, that's something that I definitely feel like this staff is better at than the University of Georgia. And a lot of folks are saying that that's probably who's going to be taking over the SEC moving forward. But I say not so fast, man. Tennessee is about to take that next step forward, and it starts off this year in 2024. So again, man, we're trending in the right direction for these blue chip players. And I love what this staff is doing. And I do think that also moving forward, we'll see a lot more of these younger guys playing, like more of the best players will play. That's coming. We didn't see that so much this past season. Okay, these past couple of seasons, really. because we had to be loyal to the players that were loyal to us. We all know that we're bringing back so many front seven guys for 2024. So you got to love everything that's going on right now, and it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. But thank y'all so much for sticking all the way to the end of this video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're not already a member of this channel, please consider doing so by clicking that join button just below. It's the best way to support what we do here, but you'll also be getting exclusive content breaking down the film of our schemes, of our players, who's playing well, who's not playing well, and what do the transfer portal players that are coming in look like for our Volunteers. So as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.